Wo Yomi Ṣọmọ nǹkan ṣá, ìgbà tí mo kúrò ní Canada mo sọ kínní yẹn, mo ní I still want to be a lawyer, pharmacist, journalist, PR. Ẹnìkan ní go to St. Anne's College 4 years, you finish there. Ká ní mo ti ṣe láti 2012, ṣebí màá ti graduate in 2016. Ṣebí nǹkan tí Dèjì náà sọ nìyẹn, ó Dèjì ń sìn, ó ti lọ law school, ó ti di lawyer. Ó ní lawyer VGM, ó ní lawyer everybody. Dèjì Adéyanjú, he's the hottest lawyer now in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't take time, Yomi. We can all go to law school. Because why do the lawyer, journalist and lawyer? We want to 60 law school self. But there can be any question. Sorry, nǹkan tí mo find very hard to know ni pé ìkànnà witnesses tèmi, àwọn key witness, anonymous witness tèmi tó ń gbénu ilé. Ó ní Darosha tarun Mohbad fún ritualist, bí cultist dẹ̀ ni. Like irun tán gé lára Mohbad, irun ẹ̀ tán shave. Kọ́ tó gbé sínú kásẹ̀, wọ́n tún ta irun fún yàn. Wọ́n lọ fi ṣògùn owó, ṣògùn ògo àbí nǹkan. Some people do all this fetish stuff. Mẹ́ntó ní kó gbé irun Mohbad fún cultist, bí Wummi ni I don't know. Where is his hair? Where is his passport? Passport ẹ̀yẹ ni mo fẹ́ rí, police ò tí interrogate yẹn. A ṣì wá iPhone. Wọ́n ti rí iPhone. Ọwọ́ mú iPhone. A ṣì wá iPhone footage. But where is his passport? Is there a visa in it? Àwọn stamps wo ló wà nú ẹ̀? Stamps Manchester Heathrow, gbogbo nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ ni forensic information tí ọlọ́pàá ò ṣe tẹ́ pé àwọn citizens ló ń ṣe. A journalist, a Nollywood actor and activist, NGOs are getting involved, Yomi's NGO, all this stuff. Wá gbọ́ eléyìí Yomi, nígbà tí wọ́n jẹ́ ìyá ọmọ torí ọwọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ tó ti ń wú. Ṣé bí Yomi ṣe sọ, daughter-in-law gbé lọ sí hospital, you as the mother, you stood there and you were watching your child suffering, but you could go to Naira Marley's house. Is this the same mother? Is it the same boss èdè tó dúró níwájú bed Naira Marley? Tí Naira Marley ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ ń pa Mohbad nígbà tí Mohbad fẹ́ kúrò nílé, tí Mohbad káwọn parents ẹ̀ lọ bá label boss.
Yes.
Is this the same woman?
Yes.
Tó lè lọ lé Naira Marley bọ̀ kò lè gbé ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ sí hospital.
Ó tọ́ ọbẹ̀ ni pé Wummi might have told the mother. Because tí o bá sọ fún ìyá yẹn, tí ó dẹ̀ rí pé kọ́wọ́ yẹn tó lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, that means tọ́fì lè sọ pé we need a nurse. That means there is evidence of pain, not even bleeding. Pain, excruciating, ó ti ní pain as in ọwọ́ yẹn ti ń ro wò pé ọwọ́ yẹn ti ń limp, ẹ̀mọ̀ kẹ́yìn máa limp ọwọ́, kó ti máa dangle, kó máa pé yeah, don't touch it, don't do me. Now ó ti wá ń wú nìyẹn, because picture yẹn let's send this sí nurse pé okay máa bọ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń sẹ́lẹ̀ ìgbà tó fẹ́ wọlé. My own grasp is bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe jọ close to, you are going to be going with the mother on Monday to stock 5 million. Even if it is call your name lost memory. Mommy, ẹ máa padà bọ̀, ọmọ yìí ti ṣe lọ́wọ́ o, ẹ dẹ̀ kókò ní fẹ́ lọ hospital, ẹ̀yìn tí wọ́n bá sọ̀rọ̀. Because wàá máa wọ pé tí ìyá ẹ̀ bá dé tó bá rí ọwọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ tó wú báyìí. First time tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé kí ló ṣọkọ ẹ lọ́wọ́. Ọ̀hán ní àtàná ni ọ̀ ṣe léṣe lọ́wọ́, wọ́n ṣá lọ́wọ́, ọwọ́ ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ro ẹ̀ ti pé nọ́ọ̀sì látànà kò ó yí lóhùn olè wá, ó ń bọ̀ lọ́la. So there are some things you know that if you say to your mother-in-law or any other adult, wọ́n ti wọ pé eléyìí yóò tiẹ̀ náà ní ọkọ ẹ̀, eléyìí ó lè gbìyànjú kí wọ́n kú lẹ̀lẹ̀. So at the end of the day, what if negligence is already setting. So even if whatever by Mohbad cannot be established, it could still be certain that negligence took Mohbad's life. It's part of the reason why he died. And the only person negligent is the wife and every other adult in the house.
I see nurse gone.
Oh no, nurse professional negligence here. I'm talking about proper negligence, like you leave somebody to buy when you are supposed to give a person care. Okay, kò lè lọ hospital. Ṣé ẹ padà rú lọ tó ti dòkú? Ẹni tí ayé ò lè lọ hospital, ẹ wá ń ru òkú ẹ lọ. Does that make any sense? The judge will be the judge and the trial court will tell you, make it make sense to me. Ẹni tó ní kò fẹ́ràn àti lọ hospital, but when it died, now ẹ wá rò pé kẹ́ máa gbé lọ. So what is the hospital for? Is the hospital a mortuary? The hospital is where they treat people. So why are you not rushing him to the hospital? So you left him deliberately because you decided within you that he does not need hospital. Because you need to let him stand up now and tell us, if he cannot confirm it, it means that he was in a serious pain, or he was incapacitated, and you left him there to cry. Judge play fast one. ọmọ angin síbẹ̀ yẹn wọn lè yé kò sí lọ́yà kọ́ lọ pé best lọ́yà gbogbo àgbáyé kó wá sọ pé tó o bá ṣubú lẹ̀ kọ́ máa wò ó bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ máa wò ó bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀ní charge ọmọ ẹ̀. Dr. Conrad Murray was sentenced based on not only professional negligence but personal negligence because he left the man to that in 3 minutes. He was trying to perform nonsense when he knew what might have led to what is causing that seizure. At the end of
the day, Conrad Murray sọ ó ní Michael Jackson ló ní kó máa fún ní propofol yẹn lọ bóun ló ṣe administer. If you're a doctor, tó bá jẹ́ doctor, tó mọ̀ pé level wà of a drug, tell pé you should not be given anymore. No matter what the person says, you don't have to succumb to that. That is the reason. Yomi, àwọn èèyàn young in bíbá àwọn ọmọ Gen Z pọ̀ gan bíbá but Yomi ṣé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ṣẹ̀rùbà wọn ṣoṣo àwọn nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ṣẹ̀rùbà wọn ṣo follow case ṣẹ̀rùbà wọn Governor Adeleke.
Yeah, is that not the senator?
Senator and Governor Adeleke ẹ̀yin èèyàn tẹ́ wá bíbá let me speak in English for them. Ṣẹ̀rùbà is a very good close family friend of the Olunloyos. You know the Adeleke and the Olunloyos are friends. Now, this is Davido's uncle. He was the first, he wasn't the first, but he was the senator of Osun State and the first executive governor of Osun State. And his name is Isiaka Adeleke. Governor Adeleke had a back problem and they had surgery. After the surgery, he was recovering. But by the time he entered the Senate from the governorship, when he finished in the governorship, the complications got so bad that they did not go to the hospital. They hired a nurse to come to the house. And when the nurse will come, it was a male nurse. He will inject him with painkillers and all that. The same scenario as Dr. Conrad Murray, who was the many of these children were 4 or 5 years old in 2009. Dr. Conrad Murray was Michael Jackson's doctor. Michael was preparing a tour after a long hiatus, and he wanted to be healthy, he wanted to perform hard. So Dr. Murray was giving him a drug called propofol, which will keep him awake a lot and be energetic and do more practicing. But Michael kept taking this propofol, and there were times that it was too much. And Dr. Murray said that Michael just asked me to keep giving it to him. Even if the patient is requiring the stuff, you as a doctor should not do that kind of stuff. It is dangerous. And then they were giving him Demerol as well for pain. Like Michael had this thing, this obsession about his concert and everything. So in any case, the propofol Michael was overcome by the propofol and he died. So Dr. Murray was arrested. He did, how many years? Look back, Yomi, 2 or 3? Abi 2. 2 years, look back. One for manslaughter, or they lose license and everything. But at the end of the day, like if you look at Ṣẹ̀rùbà, Governor Adeleke, that's his nickname. Governor Adeleke's nurse kept giving him the painkiller because Adeleke was very much in pain. And all this was going on in the house. So, Yomi Fabiyi mi bẹ̀yẹn.
Mo ń gbọ́ yín.
Mo kàn fẹ́ ṣe sound check ní kí mo pẹ́ gbogbo èèyàn ń gbọ́ mi. Governor Adeleke, at the time he was a senator. Senator Adeleke kept telling the nurse to keep injecting him with the painkiller, and the nurse kept doing that. Now, when you have somebody who is in pain, especially sickle cell patients, we've seen families of sickle cell patients actually sue hospitals or doctors saying that the patient died because of the sickle cell. Thank you for that money gone. Because of the sickle cell, whatever. Many sickle cell patients usually die of an overdose of a narcotic. And the problem was that we want to keep them out of pain. Okay, risk versus benefits, medicine. Now, in the case of Adeleke, that drug was kept being injected by the nurse. So he died. He actually had an overdose. When he died, nurse was...
Sorry, man. I want to quickly chip in another because I dissect. It's part of the subject matter. They said Mohbad was fighting Prime Boy and Ogbaglas Moto. Abi?
Yeah.
And Kemi, between you and I, and you listen to me if I'm making sense or not. He hit the car or the glass, and a 5-month-old was in the car with the mother. Who will be the first person to react and ask that to know what is happening to the child? Ejo, you should be the first person.
The first person to...
Or is it possible? Or is it possible that glass to Rusilele? Then it's no possibility that only to see one ojú ọmọ yẹn. In all their testimony about the old glass door, nobody ever said, when I saw the glass broke and everything, I was struggling, fighting for my son to know. Shepo Sisiloju, nobody remember to put that.
God bless you.
Kò sí bí Mohbad ṣe lè wà intoxicated tó mọ̀ pé ọmọ òun wà ní mọ́tò tó dẹ̀ fọwọ́ fọ́ glass àti spending tó lóun wà lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ní kọ́kọ́ máa they will forget whatever. Because kò sẹ́ni tó wà sọ pé ọmọ yẹn is not a potential is a potential danger. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì bẹ̀ tí glass yẹn bá fọ́ they will swap Wummi and the child into the other car. The glass say, well, okay, because excess breeze will be seriously putting the child in danger.
Now, Yomi, based on what you just said, Yomi, I will go back to Adeleke in a second. Based on what you just said, Felix did not.
If the expert knowledge on that.
But very far about Adeleke bí àwọn èèyàn ṣe fúnyàn lógún tán dose wọn nígbà tán ṣe trial ti nurse Adeleke was acquitted in the end, as you know.
Thank you all for gift and Kemi for me.
Exactly. Thank you for the gift. Yomi Shori nurse Adeleke was acquitted in the end, but I just came back from Canada and I waded into the whole thing because I felt that the man was in pain and I just kept giving him pain medication. And you are not a doctor, you are a nurse. Why were you doing that? Why are you shaking it? He was really in pain and everything, and he demanded if I don't give him the pain medicine. So I started comparing Adeleke to Conrad Murray. Like people saying that the patient wanted me to keep giving them. A lot of people in Nigeria said, why did Adeleke have a nurse in the house? Why was he not in a hospital? Okay? And the reason was that he was in a hospital, but he was at home in what we call hospice care, where a nurse comes and takes care of you in the house, which is nothing wrong. Now, the reason I had to tell the young people that story, Davido's uncle, okay, when he died, then his brother entered the Senate on another party, PDP, and that's what made Demola a senator. And PDP was rejoicing, saying they can win this, they can win that. It was a sympathy vote. He just took over. And Demola went to the Senate and then became governor. Now, what's happened to Isiaka Adeleke is important. And what happened to, Michael Jackson's doctor is important. One of the things I heard about Mohbad's nurse is that, because our only proof, but inside that loss of him. Now, if this is in fact true, regardless of what killed Mohbad, both here just have triaxon look pa Mohbad. If this is all true, the death certificate should be reading drug, blah, 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 secondary to a stab wound. Secondary to something else. From what I heard, one nurse to administer self-triaxone sínú bag IV bag. Wọ́n lọ́lọ́pàá kó gbogbo IV bags, gbogbo vials, gbogbo ampoules náà kó lọ pẹ̀lú wọn fún evidence. Wọ́n ní sodium chloride ló gún mọ́. 5% dextrose. You know when we're doing IV bags, IV bags.
How true is it that Adura at a point went to buy some injections?
Now,
is it true?
Entemi gbọ́ lọ ra injections ni DJ Bami. Òun náà sọ pé lọ sí pharmacy lẹ́ẹ̀mejì. Mi ò gbórúkọ Adura rárá. But ẹni tó rán wọn lọ sí pharmacy was the nurse.
Unti DJ Bami Muwaye, was it administered on Mohbad?
That is the question. According to police, the police said we took a lot of empty vials. And when empty vials at our ampoules, Mohbad injection oríṣiríṣi antibiotic, the police list.
I don't know if you know to my question.
Pertaining to
I asked a vital question.
Ṣé on sọ pé gbogbo nǹkan tó lọ ra pharmacy ṣó fi gún Mohbad?
Tí nọ́ọ̀sì yẹn tí ó ṣe pé òun ló rà wá fún rẹ̀. Àbí nǹkan tó nọ́ọ̀sì yẹn rà kọ́ wá fún rẹ̀ àbí?
According to what they told us, ọlọ́pàá nínú press conference owó ń há ní pé wọ́n rán Bami lọ sí pharmacy lẹ́ẹ̀mejì.
No, I don't know. I get it right. All the injections administered on Mohbad, the nurse did not buy anything by herself or bring them herself.
No, according to the police on the press conference, she sent DJ Bami to go to the pharmacy twice. And when he went to the pharmacy, he brought all the different drugs. When they got there, I want to evidence.
I want to finish. I not see.
Sorry, I mean, most of the people not sure they died in prison. One might arrested, but listen to this. Nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé gbogbo oògùn tí DJ Bami kó. Sorry, nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé gbogbo àwọn oògùn tí DJ Bami lọ rà ní pharmacy. DJ Bami is avoiding anybody's life. He's not talking, and I don't blame him. He must have a lawyer. But gbogbo oògùn tó lọ rà wá tí nọ́ọ̀sì rán kó lọ rà wá. Àwọn oògùn yẹn, àwọn empty containers ẹ̀ làwọn ọlọ́pàá kó lọ fún evidence. Òun náà ṣe rí gbogbo orúkọ oògùn tó wá list gbogbo orúkọ.
Ọ̀pọ̀lọpàá tó ń dé láàbù tó ń dé kí ní ẹ̀wù fọlọ́pàá kó empty lọ jàre.
Listen to me. Nǹkan tẹ́mi wá gbọ́ from an insider ni pé gbogbo àwọn IV bags tí wọ́n lọ rà. Wọ́n ní ceftriaxone was injected inside sodium chloride. We use 0.9% sodium chloride and we use 5% dextrose. When we are making IVs, Yomi, ṣòrí tó máa ń gbé àwọn èèyàn bọ̀. Ṣé wọ́n bá ẹjọ́ ẹgbọ́lẹ̀ ẹsáré gbọ́lẹ̀ tó máa ń gbé àwọn èèyàn bọ̀ lọ hospital. Èmi máa sọ fún ẹ because University of Maryland ní prototype everybody is shot from East Baltimore. The helicopter is coming. Helicopter Medivac ń bọ̀ pẹ̀lú èèyàn méjì. Wọ́n á ti rédíò wa ní hospital. Tó bá ti rédíò hospital, only we have a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old, both shot. 17-year-old shoot to 14-year-old. 14-year-old no shoot to 17. Padà ẹ fetí sílẹ̀ o. One of them has a very big hole in his head, but to shoot bullets. The other one has a small wound, but the bullet is lodged. Both kids are unconscious, 14 and 17. The weight, they give us the weight. Their weight is this, their weight is that. Within the time, 24 any weights, I calculate dose in Kotamache. So dose calculation is very, very fast. That's why I thought you calculate on the board exam. Or you don't calculate because in real life, you cannot make a mistake. If you make a mistake, you kill the patient. So we have to start calculating the dose of everything we're going to give the IVs one fast. I want to know IVs in medical at the ambulance, but I want to prepare for surgery because they're going into surgery with those bullet wounds. I'm going to tell people you. But you para one American here. But saying 14-year-old eventually Anthony bigger hole in Orie. On survive for 2 days or not there cool. But right now, when she shoot around one, so violence is Baltimore. But I want to prepare. As a pharmacist, I have to know whether I'm going to put an injection inside dextrose, 5% dextrose or 0.9% sodium chloride. Mo boy pe won ni pe Feishayo, won ni o inject ceftriaxone in sodium chloride ni o. If she actually did that, on lo pa Mohbad. Alright, Pogon. If she actually put the drug auxiliary nurse Denny, the supervision registered nurse on site, which is the one thing.
I think she did it intravenously.
If she actually infused, sorry, got to my saying, ceftriaxone yẹn, ó ti gbé nínú ampoule, nínú glass kini yẹn, ó ti draw ẹ̀ sínú syringe. Ó wá gun wọnú bag yẹn. Check sodium chloride ló hang lórí bag yẹn instead of dextro, ó pa Mohbad yẹn straight. Torí wọ́n ní bó ṣe inject ẹ̀ ní Mohbad bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí convulse tí gbogbo goosebump dé. Meaning pé òun ló actually pa Mohbad. Secondary to àwọn tó kọ́kọ́ stab ẹ̀. Just like I explained with my cousin, one explained in a video, Kemi Olunloyo was in a car with a bad character. One lay drug dealer, ìwọ́dẹ̀ gbé drug dealer sínú car. Ọlọ́pàá lẹ́yìn ní high speed, ẹ wá crash, wọ́n wá gbé gbogbo wọn lọ hospital. Kule was in surgery. Wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ surgery, anesthesiologist dé, wọ́n fún anesthesia, kan bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gé gbogbo parts tó wà ní accident. Ìyẹn bá lè overcome pẹ̀lú anesthesia. Kule bá kú. That's how Kemi Olunloyo died. The anesthesiologist made a mistake. The hospital paid his wife $8 million. Can you imagine? And the children were 1 and 2 years old. Today, Stephen Olunloyo is 37. Derek Olunloyo is 36. 1 and 2 secondary to a car crash.
Because the lady nurse is not a professional doctor.
She's not a
she cannot go under involuntary manslaughter. She can't go under involuntary
manslaughter alone.
So it's because Omo she's not meant to go that out. On cut corners, she's cutting corners. Because she go medical emergency, we have first aid, don't give. she was actually treating a serious case.
Yomi, but she was not supposed to do it without supervision. Àwọn auxiliary nurse in America registered nurse.
She knows that kò ethical. Nobody need to cover here because trying to patch that one is to give another opportunity for another nurse to do that. Check that to me. Mm-hmm. So I think that we are okay on that one. Host, I think we have contributed enough. We should allow others.
So you're got to basically, and you're secondary to something else. So you understand? Now, death certificate, cousin me actually said he died of anesthesia overdose, secondary to a car crash after a police high-speed chase. So it's like anesthesia, mistake, on hospital to pay 8 million for in damages. Oh, you want to trust me because they had to be 18 years old. Our cousins they're not 37 and 36, but only 18 years old. Why Obama cash, dollar, toffee, chat, Facebook. Owó tó gbà tó ti fi sínú trust fund fún wọn. Anyway, time flies from 1 to 18 years old to 37. But really, Mohbad possibly died from a drug interaction. Secondary yẹn àwọn owó ha ò fẹ́ sọ ní press conference. Wọ́n ṣe present press conference fún wa nìyẹn o. They presented that press conference to us as a nurse building.
What if he was injected with overdose of drugs when he was stabbed to stand as a decoy?
Yeah, but
what if he was?
Let's understand the drugs he man paying. Sorry, drug overdose of drugs to someone. I want to man paying to buy food excess are usually narcotics, painkillers. I want to make peppers. Antibiotics antibiotics will rarely kill you as an overdose. What antibiotics will do is if you infuse it in the wrong place. Immediately, sincerely believe pé one ní good pump your lára Mohbad nígbà tó gbé self-triaxone yẹn sínú bag yẹn. So pé IV is like a line. IV is a line tó wọnú veins ẹ. So ògùn yẹn máa wọnú veins ẹ faster. Ìgbà tó gún abẹ́rẹ́ yẹn sínú bag tó hang yẹn. So ti yẹn wọ́n nínú sodium chloride ló lọ. Sorry, àwọn kọ́kọ́ wà nínú IV Mohbad, àwọn diclofenac injection. Wọ́n mọ diclofenac fún pain àti inflammation. Àwọn yẹn wà ní bag yẹn. So yeah, those ones go with sodium chloride 0.9%. So bó ṣe ń gún sodium chloride yẹn fún pain kí Mohbad ní less pain. Ó ti gbàgbé pé òun ò lè gún sodium chloride. The self-triaxone to sodium chloride. She has to have a separate bag on that line. A separate IV bag on that line with 0.5% dextrose. Then she puts the self-triaxone. But she made a mistake. She must have injected that self-triaxone into the sodium chloride. Contaminated
which wound do gongo láti ẹ̀sọ́ tó ń gba gbogbo tó tó yìí?
Deep wound ni contaminated the IV line and the patient started having goosebumps, vomiting and was
that hand is not a deep wound though. They told her she's coming to treat the hand. They said she's coming to treat the hand. They should bring the nurse.
No, what they said, what I'm saying is gbogbo report àwọn ọlọ́pàá yẹn irọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín.
Which one? The one about the medications?
No, what I'm saying is, Sherry, what happened, this is just like a drug-induced, reactions. Most of these drugs, there are so many routes you can administer drugs. Some IV, some IM, And again, there are some water bags or solutions you cannot put some medications into and then infuse into a patient. If not, you are going to have not only tissue reaction, but also general anaphylactic reactions.
Exactly.
So there is possibility of that. I'm not doubting that. But what the most of our statement but for that to the nurse is never safe. It's never safe. I think I want to
Dr. Femi, are you saying that Ironon Pankpa list of drugs?
No, Egbon got me so for Sherry. Sherry, taba wo story script is a very big script. Along, it's a very, very big script.
First of all, sorry to interrupt you there.
One fait tellement nurse, but one fait pin nurse,
Mr. Yomi.
Yomi Bobby by Yomi Josari Professor Mufeko present. Dr. Femi, one fait pin nurse mole. What they did, they put a wanted stick poster out for Prime Boy. One fait pin Prime Boy. When that one didn't work, because Prime Boy one daily. When that didn't work, they came out and they did the press conference. They came out and they did the press conference, and they now said, and I'm saying, "Hello, Mon, continue share infuse solution. We look to infuse there. Okay, stress self-track. So, sodium chloride near being dextrose. Kilo I am low funny. There's so much we did not see.
The nurse confirmed she treated and administered those injections.
One point interrogated, yes.
Nurse, yeah, she needs to tell us
the route of administration. How did she administer them?
A lot of Dr. Femi, a lot of the medications were administered by IV and IM. I believe that at one point, once diclofenac one, IV, okay, at one point, because it was continuous pain for him. But the initial dose of diclofenac went IM. Okay, and you tell me, show. IM means intramuscular. When you take an injection in your muscles, like doctor will tell you to take your pant off and they reject it in your bum, that's intramuscular, or maybe in your arm. Intravenous, the drug is going faster into your veins. That's when they give you a drip. So, doctor, I'm thinking that chemist, initial painkiller come back. And diclofenac, anti-inflammatory low. I did not see one single narcotic in the thing. Because obviously narcotics now you need a prescription in Nigeria. So they used a lot of diclofenac. And each time, Wummi was saying she was cooking Indomie in the kitchen. Yaba was there doing cooking too for them. Because Indomie was what they used to counteract the side effects of diclofenac. Do you understand, Dr. Femi?
Yes, yes.
Because Mohbad, one lo she le jẹun, o she lanu láti jẹun because tó bá infuse diclofenac injection, it's like on an empty stomach, and o ma sick o. So one Indomie no ma dà sí lẹ́nu tó ma tí ò ní jẹ́ kí yẹn ṣe kíní, tí ò ní jẹ́ kí yẹn react fún. So that's what they were using on the IV.
And again, Dr. Kemi, Cherima, it has to be in a very big setting because
it has to be a clinical setting.
Yes, it has to be very big clinical settings. And again, these drugs has to be titrated. You know what I mean? It has to be titrated. It has to be
Mohbad.
Oh no, so Yomi,
Dr. Femi, nǹkan tó ń dùn mí jù ni pé àwa wá lọ di TikTok discussion. Nǹkan tẹ́ pé àwọn Nigerian doctors tó yẹ kán ti jáde kán máa bọ́lọ́pàá ṣiṣẹ́. Àwa wá lọ di TikTok discussion. Doctors on TikTok, activists on TikTok, journalists and pharmacists on TikTok, non-discuss. Nǹkan tí ó yẹ kí government máa ṣe kán máa láyé àwọn èèyàn lórí tí wọ́n ṣe. Wọ́n titrate drug. Ọmọ yóò titrate drug. Auxiliary nurse ni ọmọ pé wọ́n lè ṣiṣẹ́ alone. Clinical setting kò sí nínú ilé Adeleke. Nínú ilé Adeleke was a clinical setting.
Blood gone.
Wọ́n á gbé duvet blood. Wọ́n lọ jó yẹn náà. Ìyábọ̀ ní kò lọ jó náà. Wọ́n ṣèkà fún Mohbad.
All right, I say, Goma, it's nice being here. Moderator, thanks for bringing me up. Yeah. Everybody, I appreciate it. Dr. Kemi, I want to ask you a question. Kitolo, how have you been able to sometimes when you talk, you go back to 1920, we had 19 clinic, you give us precise date, precise time, precise location, precise this, precise that. In fact, I must confess, in fact, I must congratulate you for that. You are such, you know what I mean? I mean, consciously, in terms of time, you are ahead of, you are very good with that, and I really appreciate you for that.